I always believed that marriage was built on love, trust, and commitment, values I held onto for years as I devoted myself to my wife, Jessica. We met in our mid-20s, back when life was simpler, when love felt unshakable, and when we dreamed about growing old together. We were young, passionate, and crazy about each other. Our wedding day was everything we imagined: intimate, emotional, and full of promises we swore we would never break. For years, I thought we were the perfect team. But looking back, I was too blind to see the changes, the small cracks that slowly turned into fractures. Life happened. Work stress, financial struggles, and the comfortable monotony of marriage settled in. We both gained a few pounds, indulging in late-night dinners and Netflix marathons, not realizing we were losing more than just our youthful figures. We were losing the spark. I never minded. I still saw Jessica as the woman I fell in love with, still beautiful, still mine. But for her, things were different. She started mentioning how she wanted to feel attractive again, how she missed the body she had in her early 20s. I encouraged her to be happy in her skin, but soon, her casual remarks turned into something more serious. She joined a gym, started dieting aggressively, and suddenly, her evenings were filled with fitness classes instead of our usual movie nights. At first, I admired her dedication. She looked amazing, stronger, more confident, glowing with newfound energy. But then, the emotional distance crept in. She stopped laughing at my jokes, stopped holding my hand while we watched TV. She was on her phone more, always texting, smiling at messages she never shared with me. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off, saying it was just fitness friends from the gym. I wanted to believe her, but deep down, I knew something was off. One night, I casually glanced at her phone while she was in the shower. I had never been the jealous type, never once felt the need to check her messages before. But something inside me told me to look. And there it was, the truth I wasn't prepared for. She had been talking to a guy from the gym, Nick. Their messages weren't explicit, but they didn't have to be. Flirty emojis, late-night check-ins, inside jokes I wasn't a part of. It was emotional cheating at best, but I knew where it was headed. I confronted her that night. She didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she looked at me with a strange kind of pity and said, "I just feel like I've outgrown us." Outgrown us? Like marriage was a phase? Like I was just a stepping stone to a better life? The words cut deeper than I expected, but I held back my anger, my devastation. She continued, explaining how she felt stuck, how she wanted to be with someone who matched her energy. In other words, someone fitter, younger, someone who made her feel desired in a way I apparently no longer could. The divorce happened fast. She wanted out, and I refused to beg her to stay. She packed her things and moved into a new apartment, while I was left in the house we once called home, staring at the empty side of the closet she used to fill. The worst part? She didn't just leave me. She upgraded. Within months, she was officially with Nick, flaunting their relationship all over social media. Gym selfies, vacation pictures, romantic dinners, the whole highlight reel of a perfect couple. Mutual friends try to be kind, but I could see it in their eyes. Pity. I was the man left behind, the ex-husband who let himself go while she found something better. It was humiliating, but I swallowed my pride. I refused to let my story end as the man who got dumped and never recovered. So I did what I should have done a long time ago. I focused on myself. I started working out, not for revenge, not to win her back, but because I needed to find the man I used to be. I pushed myself, challenged myself, and little by little I changed. I got in the best shape of my life, built a new social circle, and threw myself into my career. The pain of Jessica leaving still lingered, but I refused to let it define me. And then one day, out of nowhere, she called. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe she dialed me accidentally. But when I picked up, her voice was hesitant, almost nervous. "Hey, how have you been?" I could have laughed. How had I been? Where was this concern when she walked out of my life? But I played it cool. "I'm good. Busy. What's up?" There was a long pause, and then she sighed. I miss talking to you." There it was. The first crack in the perfect life. she thought she had built. I didn't ask questions, didn't pry. But I knew. I knew the honeymoon phase with Nick had faded. Maybe he wasn't as great as she thought. Maybe she realized the grass wasn't greener. Or maybe, just maybe, she saw me moving on and hated that she wasn't part of my world anymore. Over the next few weeks, she texted more often. Harmless messages at first, memes, random memories, nostalgic little breadcrumbs. Then she started opening up. I think I made a mistake. I miss us. I miss you. And finally, the words that should have made me feel victorious, but instead, just made me shake my head. Can we meet? I just want to talk. I agreed. Not because I wanted her back, but because I wanted to see her face when she realized what she lost. We met at a coffee shop, and for the first time in a long time, I was the one with the upper hand. She looked good, but not as confident as before. She played with her cup, avoiding my gaze, her fingers tapping nervously against the table. I'm sorry, she finally said. For everything. I nodded, letting her continue. I thought leaving was the right choice. I thought I needed something new, someone new. But she trailed off, shaking her head. It wasn't what I expected. There it was. The realization that she had traded loyalty for temporary excitement. She had left stability for a thrill that faded too soon. And now, she was looking at me, the man she discarded, hoping for a second chance. I miss you, Matt, she whispered. I miss us. Do you think we could ever, try again? I leaned back, studying her. The desperation in her eyes, the regret in her voice. She really thought she could come back, as if I had just been sitting around waiting for her to change her mind. But I wasn't the same man anymore. I had grown. I had moved on. And I wasn't about to become someone's backup plan. I smiled. Jessica, I appreciate the apology. But no, we can't try again. Her face fell. Why not? I leaned forward, looking her in the eye. Because I don't settle for people who only want me when it's convenient. She didn't argue. She didn't beg. She just sat there, realization washing over her. She lost me. She lost the one person who would have given her the world. And that was her burden to carry. I paid for my coffee, stood up, and left without looking back. As I walked away, I felt nothing but relief. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't anger. It's showing them that you never needed them to begin with. And for the first time in years, I felt completely free.